Okay, not only were diseases cured, but also the economy. This is like headline news, huh? It says, in short, as neotech began to drive all industries, prices of everything dropped dramatically. Some products more than other products, depending on how technologically driven the consumer product was. In any case, your buying power over everything multiplied a many-fold. As in the computer world, where all computer consumers became computer rich as their buying power multiplied thousands of times, consumers everywhere became rich, even those on minimum wage or set pensions. The transition from the old code to the new code was history's rags to riches event. Remember, the old code and the new code were at extreme opposites, from deadly pandemics to perfect health, from hopeless poverty to millionaire wealth. Furthermore, under the new code, you lived in a world as safe as Disneyland. That's right, crime essentially disappeared in the neotech era. As ordinary people became essentially millionaires without lifting a finger, the incentive for crime became obsolete, for it was far easier to get rich by doing nothing than through risky crime. Moreover, the communication revolution brought the peace and prosperity to the four corners of the world, obsoleting oppressive rule and terrorism. In short, neotech revolution saved us from the plunge into the quarter-century-long era of plagues, poverty, and violence, and all just in the nick of time. The 20th century old world big government, however, hampered and delayed the vital neotech revolution as long as possible, sending mankind toward a head-on collision with disaster. In fact, our initiation into the third millennium could still be catastrophic, with deadly worldwide pandemics, a middle class collapse into poverty and violence in our schools and neighborhoods. You see, my vision did not show me just when the new code started, for I believe it was still being determined, and was the reason for my 6 visions that help guide us into the better world. If neotech era of millionaire wealth, near perfect health, and super safe self is delayed too long, we will instead sink deeper and deeper into catastrophic error. That relentlessly sinking catastrophic error, every reader, yes, your life would be invaded by the 3 big catastrophes of disease, poverty, and crime. Life would become hard, perhaps apocalyptic. Of course, the neotech era would rescue us from the hardships. Life would become easy. All throughout history, once people could see a better world, they could not be stopped and quickly entered into the better world. The more recent example came through the invention of the satellite TV. Because of satellite TV, people in the former Soviet Empire for the first time saw a better world of the West, and subsequently dumped the severe oppressive forces. With that in mind, the 6 visions showed us that neotech world, the better world in which everyone lived like a millionaire. My moment as God-man showed me in the 6 visions of a better world. I received a strong impression that disseminated those visions to 50 million people. I saw in my vision that once 50 million people saw the rich world, we went into that neotech world very quickly. No more zigzags, no more delays. Positive megatrends turned into stampedes. Aside from millionaire wealth, near perfect health, and super safe self, my 6 visions showed me we enjoyed things we now only dreamed about, like a job we love, romantic love, a slim and sexy body, a creative mind. For instance, our 20th century routine rut jobs became extinct as we enjoyed 21st century jobs with explosive opportunity. We no longer suffered in a silent frustration, and instead we discovered what it was meant to be, exhilarated by the creative success. We discovered honest power. With our new power and wealth, we actually rediscovered passionate love and youthful romance. The reason that all that faded after we first passionately fell in love and had to do with our stagnant traps. Miserably stagnated under the old code, we had little passion left to give. Love faded and romance died. But tomorrow, under the new code, as we become reinvigorated with power, wealth, and success, it says we had a lot to give, as well as a lot to be steamed up over. Even the most Even the most boring spouse sinking into stagnation transformed into a vibrant shaker and doer, thriving in life. The ordinary person tomorrow had a lot to feel good about and wanted to share the good times with his spouse. As we forgot about stagnation and became wealthy, powerful, and successful, we rediscovered and even surpassed the passion and romance we once had. Moreover, we recaptured the slim and sexy bodies we had in our prime. You see, as we grow older and more stagnated under the old code, we tended to eat too much and gain weight out of boredom. Let's face it, life was boring. Under the new code, as we became rich and powerful, life was never slow or boring. We never slowed down. We were too busy living the good life to be overweight. The sexy slim body returned. Our sexy lives were generously rewarded. And that's not all. We recaptured and surpassed the creativity of youth, as demonstrated by the scientists in the 20th century. Our creativity under the old code gradually abandoned us as we grew older. Major advancements in physics, for instance, were made by the new young creative physicists sometime after 2001. However, under the new code, we rediscovered an entirely new way of using our minds that became more creative with age. Integrative thinking replaced IQ for effectively creating new values, and whereas only gifted people had high IQs in the 20th century, everyone easily did integrate thinking into the 21st century, and the older you became, the more knowledgeable you had to snap together into the expanding success puzzle. In fact, in tomorrow's neotech era, a prolific information, we discovered growing omnipotence as we snapped together the information all around us into a growing success puzzles, and saw that the completed puzzle pictures looked like before they were 2/3 complete. Moreover, as the puzzles came together, many revealed puzzle pictures never seen before, making us creative geniuses. Our minds no longer were stuck in their routine rut as small spears of thought, wasting in stagnation. Instead, our minds were far-reaching and creative. The older we became, the more information we accumulated that snapped together into the bigger and bigger success puzzles, revealing our far-reaching creative puzzle pictures called neothink. Our creativity actually grew with age. Moreover, our children grew up that way, knowing how to integrate success puzzles and to be creative. Also, in tomorrow's neotech world, our bad habits disappeared. You see, under the old code, bad habits were done. For the same reason, for stimulation in our otherwise boring lives. Thinking about our own bad habits over the past year, they were done for stimulation, whatever the bad habits were, from watching too much TV to perhaps drinking too much. But under the new code, the stimulation from living like millionaires with power, love, looks, omnipotence overpowered all sources of stimulation. Bad habits vanished overnight. During the vision, the future was at times frightening, with surging virulent diseases, violent crime, and shrinking job base, sinking standards of living, skyrocketing divorce, epidemic obesity, and yet the extreme opposite new code was beautiful, with long healthy lives, peace, exciting jobs, riches, romantic love, gorgeous bodies. I witnessed in my vision that once 50 million people got a glimpse of the neotech world and its 6 ultimate gifts, the new code happened very fast. We rose from virulent diseases to perfect health. We rose from neighborhood violence to Disneyland safety. We rose from routine ruts and in many cases unemployment and despair to exciting jobs. We rose from failed love to passionate love. We rose from over-the-hill bodies to heading towards the end to nice bodies and longer lives. We rose from miserable stagnation to stimulated minds. Our children rose from increasingly illiterate airheads to creative children. The underprivileged rose from poverty to millionaire wealth. Civilization rose from the catastrophic world into the neotech world. We rose out of our worst nightmares into our best dreams. This is the world that we're heading into if we listen to this, man, and really grasp the integrated thinking. Integrated thinking is the greatest thing that you could do on earth. Like I said, time will tell, man, whether we move forward or we sink into stagnation, man. Like I said, each one of us has potential, the unlimited tapped potential. So like I said, take a serious look at this, and like I said, change your way of thinking, man. Life can be great.